I'm the person who plays Purpled in this Dream SMP reboot server, as well as the owner of the server itself. I'm here to explain Purpled's story and the lore that happened before we made this channel. Purpled's story begins after an encounter with Charlie Slimeskull in Skull Cave. Skull Cave is covered in slime and books, and Charlie Slimeskull has made it his own. Purpled demands that he gets out of his property and to never step foot near Skull Cave again. Charlie Slimeskull denies and simply states, "You don't use it anyway." This causes an altercation between the two that ends in Charlie Slimeskull detonating TNT under Skull Cave, causing both him and Purpled to die. This was Purpled's second death. After this second death, Purpled becomes far more ruthless, taking control of Los Nevadas while Quackity was trapped in Limbo. During this period, he becomes some sort of dictator, abusing Tubbo and Quackity's ghost both mentally and physically. Later, the Empire replants itself as a nation, and during a banquet, Hannah Rose, Tommy Innit, and Quackity's ghost was killed during Purpled's reign of terror. When Quackity returns, Purpled reluctantly rejoins Los Nevadas as chief diplomat after both him and Tubbo stumbled across him eating someone in the country's power bunker. After an expedition to visit Ranbu and explain where Tubbo was all this time, Technoblade chases them out of the Arctic and goes to Los Nevadas with them, ending in Quackity's death. Technoblade demands that Purpled doesn't revive Quackity, as it would end in war for Los Nevadas, and something worse than Doomsday. Purpled denies this, and uses Quackity's copy of the revival book to resurrect the man. This provoked Technoblade and the Syndicate into declaring war. Before the war, Purpled reunites with his brother Punz after Charlie Slimeskull found the man on a yacht. The two reconcile briefly, with Purpled saying how he expected to die in this war. During the final battle, Purpled tries to prevent the conflict by offering to revive Tommy in exchange for peace. But Techno quickly refuses, sending his hounds after the alien. After Purpled kills the wolves, he steps between Techno and Quackity, begging for this all to stop. Purpled gets stabbed by Technoblade's sword, ending his story for now. In Limbo, he enters a very terrible limbo created by a woman called the Executrix. Not my lore to explain, I'm sure it'll be explained eventually. This endless isolation in space before a black hole where he was constantly feeling like he was suffocating, his lungs being crushed in on him constantly. He was temporarily sharing with Quackity's ghost in Limbo. Purpled expressed how he had slight regret for his actions and feared of being forgotten. He mourns the childhood he never had and just wishes life would be normal again. Ghostpuled is the opposite of his living self. Kind, apologetic, and eager to make friends with people. He unsuccessfully tried to reconcile with Hannah, Ranbu, Technoblade, and others while explaining the horrors of Purpled's Limbo. Purpled briefly experienced relief after being moved over to Hannah's Limbo once she died, briefly, where he can finally breathe proper oxygen. He finally sees a sunset after so many months, as he was now 18 after so many Limbo months. Executrix eventually drags him back to his own limbo after a slight argument where Purpled insulted everything Executrix loved, including Tubbo, Michael, and Ranbu. Ghostpuled's final major interaction was with Punz. He repeatedly apologized for Purpled's actions and was sorry that he was there and not Purpled. Punz immediately said how Ghostpuled didn't have to apologize, as it wasn't his fault. He showed Purpled's apartment to Punz as well as the grave, and said how he would willingly die if it meant Purpled could become revived and be with Punz again. Punz promised to try and talk to Dream, leaving the possibility of Purpled's return open while Ghostpuled disappeared to the main SMP. Potentially, this was the last time anyone saw Ghostpuled alive. That's my lore for Purpled's. I'm sure everything else will be recorded. hopefully. I also played Drista in this SMP, but there's no lore for her yet. It's just, she's just there at the moment. But I hope you guys enjoy this remake, and I hope we bring you guys great amounts of joy, and we hope to be going for a while.